At 7 in the morning someone knocks on my door. It's my boss. He says, "Hey dude, I have bad news. We had to let you go. Please give me your work laptop and your office key. We learned from our past experience that it's better to make it really quick without talking or anything. It's sad but you will get over it." He hands me the cancelled contract and leaves. Apparently the company lost a lot of money and has to let go many people, especially the ones in trial period. Nobody warned me or said a single word. I was there for 5 months and my onboarding was already finished. My friends at work were extremely confused and sad. I am still getting paid for 2 weeks and then I am jobless and need money from the government. Next week I would have vacation which I already paid for. I now have a gap in my resume because it's impossible to find a new job so quickly. I lose a lot of money for basically no reason, and if I didn't have savings I would lose my car and maybe more. Trust nobody and always have at least 2 months worth of money in your account for moments like these. Don't use exact dates on your resume. Just month and year. It's 9/2023 now and it's the middle of the month. Even if it takes 6 weeks to find a new job, you can just put your new start date as 10/2023. You won't have a gap. A gap is 6 months to a year depending on the person and industry. Taking a few months to find a new job because your old company couldn't budget won't be an issue. People lose jobs for all sorts of reasons, many outside their control, and the older you get the more apparent this becomes. You aren't alone. Take that vacation. File for unemployment. Fuck a resume gap. Just make up some position during the gap. Freelancer or I was being subcontracted. You will bounce back. File for unemployment now, because that can be a process. Resume gaps are stupid. Can you explain this gap in your resume? Yes. That is a period of time that I was not working. I went on a trip and spent time with my family. Don't worry about that gap. I personally would take vacation, look for jobs, and apply poolside. This could be a blessing in disguise. So sorry you're going through this. Why is a gap in a resume a bad thing? I had a fucking holiday in between work, like a normal human would. Frankly, the idea of gaps on a resume being a red flag is frightening as hell to me. Unemployment is paid for by yourself. You pay for it to exist when you work. It is not a handout from the government. This is exactly why companies don't deserve a 2-week notice. If they won't even grant you the same so you can get your stuff together and work with your landlord, then fuck 'em. Who the fuck can save 2 months of money for when you get fucked like this? 'Cause I know it ain't me. Of all the mess I've read on this sub, this one is up there. Coming to your house is overstepping to say the least and feels like it should be illegal. I'm glad you have some savings and hope you can still take the vacation. You don't have a gap in your resume. You're a freelancer, or caretaker for a relative, or exploring alternate career paths. Lots of people here have authoritative sounding voices and would be more than happy to be your reference. I have no compunction about lying about things like that. Our employment processes here in the States are beyond broken, and if I gotta tell some harmless lies so I can eat, so be it. The fact that companies don't like to see gaps in resumes, but then you also have to hide your job hunting from your current employer, is an indicator of how NIMBY society is. If by money from the government, you mean unemployment benefits, that's not money from the government. That's an insurance policy that your company paid for. You're entitled to that money. Honestly, I wouldn't mind being let go like that, especially if you have a longer commute. Now, I didn't waste hours out of my day getting ready and stuff only to get fired 30 minutes into the shift. Yeah, It's a bit weird that they showed up at your place at 7 a.m. But they also respected you enough to do it in person instead of over a phone call. A gap in my resume. That really no longer matters. Relax. The last time that sort of thing mattered was during the time frame that Mad Men took place. Back then, you could have graduated high school and then worked at one company for the rest of your life. That stuff died in the 80s. Thanks to Reagan Thatcher. Get off my property or I'm calling the police. It's so FC King crazy to me how folks actually care about resume gaps. The team I worked for needed to hire to replace me since I was promoted. They would gripe about a couple months gap it resumes. I would try and temper them, but someone drilled into these old heads that gap's bad person for some reason. I really hope this cultural norm dies. My resume is filled with gaps. Intentionally. Do not treat it like it is some issue. It's sabbatical. Wait till they go bankrupt, then you and your friends can add another 3 years of work experience. Then use each other to corroborate each other's experience. Winner. Now have a gap in my resume. Never tell the whole truth on a resume. Or in an interview. This is why I think giving a company 2 weeks is bullshit. This idiot is going to get hurt bad showing up at people's homes with this shish tea. Your idea of a resume gap is crazy. A resume gap is like coming back from 3 years of not working with no explanation given. Being out of work for a few weeks or months while you look for a new job is very normal. Not sure why everyone is stressing about a gap in a resume. Don't be that slave to a piece of paper now. Your mental and physical health is more important than stressing about something that don't give 2 cents about. You pretend you are still working. I have been in this situation. Act as though you're still there and you will have more weight behind your negotiation. Otherwise they'll know you're desperate and try to lowball. Always have at least 2 months worth of money in your account for moments like these. Once you do this, you also have the ability to walk out of toxic situations. Especially the ones where they make you train your own replacement. Always have money saved for just such an occasion. I now have a gap in my resume, okay, and? That's completely irrelevant. No one is going to care about a gap unless it's years where your skill set would have had time to lag behind advances in the field. Get your unemployment checks going. Enjoy your vacation. And find something new. Friendly reminder: if anyone has gaps they need to fill with management experience, I am always available to pose as your former manager at Circuit City where you were a floor manager. Inbox if needed. Honestly, much as I wanted to hate this is okay. 1. You saved a trip to work. 2. You're getting paid for 2 weeks severance, amazing since you're there under a year. 3. It's a layoff, not a firing. You'll get a good reference. Good luck, man, you'll define. Damn, I got 6 months worth of my paycheck saved, cashing my vacation hours. And I feel suffocated because student loan is coming. Lifestyle creep is totally my fault though. I'm getting let go end of September. Hope you get a new job soon. Shit sucks. My workplace is good though. They gave me a letter saying I was let go because insufficient funds. It's a gov job, BTW. Just researches soft money and gave me 6 months heads up. Not quite the same scenario, but I was able to get my tickets refunded in cash by pressing the matter with my airline. They required some proof. In this case it was proof of injury, but it can't hurt to try. They were originally going to give me credit, but I'm unsure if I'll be ready to travel by the time the credit would expire, so I politely pressed the matter. Talked with people, asked them for help, etc. Also, since I was within the cancellation period for the hotel, I got that back in full.